In this video, I'm going to show how to place the front sway bar links on this Lexus IS. Located behind your front wheels, and I recommend replacing both left and right side at the same time. Let's get started. With the vehicle safely raised and supported, use a 21mm socket and remove all 5 lug nuts and then pull the wheel off. Just as a tip, if your vehicle has locking lug nuts and the special key for it, don't use an impact on it. Break it free by hand with a breaker bar, then finish removing it because the teeth on those little sockets can break. And remove your wheel. On the control arm, you'll find the lower part of the sway bar link attached right here with a 17mm mounting nut. As you can see, there's an Allen head cutout on the end of the stud, which most likely we will need to use. So I'm going to try to clean all this up, the threads and that cutout, so we can actually insert a hex socket in there. And cleaning the threads with a wire brush is going to help since they're a little bit rusty. That way the nut can come off easier. A good tip for cleaning these cutouts is just grab a pick and try to pick all of the rust and debris out of there so you can actually get your socket properly seated so it can grab on. I'm going to hammer in a 6mm Allen socket. I took it back out because what I want to do is use a power tool on that mounting nut to try to at least break it free. Then I will switch over to some hand tools so we can unthread it. Use a 17mm socket and at least try to break it free. It's spinning, but as I expected, it's stuck. I'm going to add some rust penetrant to the threads. I'll use a 17mm ratcheting wrench on this. And I'll hammer in my Allen socket. And there we go. And there goes the mounting nut. Take that off. There it is. With the help of a pry bar, if you pry the sway bar down, you should be able to allow tension to relieve off of the sway bar link, and you can pull it right out. On the upper end of the sway bar link, you'll have to do the same exact thing, but if you'll notice, the height level sensor rod is right in front of it. So we'll just go down and unbolt it. That way we can move this out of the way safely, not damage it, and get our sway bar link out. Use a 10mm wrench or socket, unbolt the bracket that holds this on the control arm. Take that off, now you can move it. And now we have plenty of space to do the same thing right up here. There we go. All right. It broke free, but now the stud started spinning, so let's get that Allen socket in here. All right, there it is. And take our sway bar link out. There it is. Get the new sway bar link installed on the sway bar. That's where we ended, so that's where I'm going to start the reinstallation. I put some anti-seize on those threads. I like to do that, especially since these have locking nuts, because it helps corrosion not to build up as much, and it will allow me to not only install it, but remove it in the future easier if it ever has to come off. With that mounting nut installed, let's tighten it up. This new sway bar link uses a 4mm Allen. It's no longer a 5mm. And an 18mm mounting nut instead of a 17. All right, let's tighten this up. The torque is 62 foot-pounds for this. I will try to torque it, most likely will not be able to if this stud spins, in which case I'll just put my ratchet on there and make it nice and tight, but 62 foot-pounds.
Looks like I got it. It's time to bolt up our ride height level sensor. I put a little bit of anti-seize on there. This is aluminum and this bracket is steel, so if there's ever corrosion that happens, it'll happen pretty badly, so I wanted to prevent that. Also make sure that this little hook goes into its hole that is cut out for it. That is how you know that it is properly lined up so it can take a proper reading of the ride height. Put this 10mm headed bolt back in and snug it up. That's bottomed out. A little bit extra is all you need. This is very small going into aluminum. It just needs to hold this bracket on. Let's reinstall the sway bar link on the lower control arm. Might need to pry down on the sway bar again. There we go. I put anti-seize on those threads just so I can make sure it doesn't corrode in the future. Get the mounting nut back on. I'm gonna put my wrench on here and my Allen, and we'll tighten it up. All right, that bottomed out. I'm gonna give it a little bit extra. We'll get the tool out and we'll torque it. Torque this to 62 foot-pounds. As I suspected, the entire stud is still spinning, so I can't really torque it. If you can, 62 foot-pounds. I'm gonna put my wrench back on with the Allen and give it another quick snug. That should be plenty tight. All right, okay, that is tightened up. Let's get the wheel back on. Start on all 5 lug nuts. We'll bottom them out in a cross pattern, and also in a cross pattern, we'll torque all of them to 76 foot-pounds. If your vehicle has the locking lug nuts with the key, be very, very careful with these. I don't recommend using a power tool on them. I'm going to use one just to slowly bottom it out, but I'm not going to impact through this adapter because the teeth on the backside can very easily break. Once again, 76 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. Double check them all. Remove your tool if you had one of these here. Job is done, take it for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.